Hey there, Herb the Forever Runner here, and I want to welcome you to episode 4 of my training for the Tahoe 200 series. So, in this episode, I'm going to go over my 50-mile training run that I just did and go through the the three good things and then the three lessons learned that I got out of doing this event. So stay tuned and let's go through this. So so the plan was I did this race called the Badger 50 miler. It's over in Eastern Washington in Kennewick, and it's really exposed. No trees, which is totally different from what I'm used to on the west side of the mountains here in Washington. So I thought it was a great opportunity, maybe to get try out some of my gear where it could get very windy or cold, and so the idea was to take a full pack with all my Tahoe 200 gear and run the 50 miler, take a nap, and then get up and pace a friend of mine for the last 20 miles of his 100-mile being done on the same course. So anyway, here's what happens. First of all, the race went very well. I was very happy with my overall energy during the race. My fueling was spot on. I was well hydrated, had to pee a couple times, so everything worked all the way through as far as that goes. I was second of all, I was real happy with my pack. It was very comfortable, and it didn't seem to bother me that much while I was doing the run, though I knew I was carrying some extra weight. Worked out, functioned very well, no chafing, no real issues. So I was very happy with that. And the third thing, the race director had said there's a couple of sections on the course where it's very dusty. It's like talc powder, the dust, and that you should bring an extra pair of socks or something because this can really get in and destroy your feet. So I packed extra socks for that, and I had gaiters on. And fortunately, going through that dusty area, I just didn't have any issues at all. And afterwards, my feet were fairly clean. So I was very happy that the shoes I wore, the Lone Peaks, had a tight enough mesh that all that stuff just didn't get in there. So very happy with that. So all in all, the fueling, hydration, and the gear worked out very well. That unfortunately, the weather was pretty mild, so I just wore a long sleeve the whole time. Didn't have to use a windbreaker or wind pants. Just regulated by rolling up my sleeves or pulling them back out again. So all that went very well. So my lessons learned. As usual, I just kind of went out too fast, and it's hard. It's hard for me to go from one extreme to another. One where you're kind of running a race, trying to place in your age group, or going very slow, like 100-mile pace or 200-mile pace, just as a good training effort. And I kind of fell in the between land there, and it just wasn't the right thing to do. I pushed it a little hard on a couple of the downhills in the beginning, and afterwards, after I completed the race, I could feel the soreness in my legs. They were pretty tight, and um, uh, there was no real reason to do that. I think I finished like 45th out of 120 and a little bit under 12 hours. I should have just taken it easy and done like 14 hours, and I would have felt just fine after the race, no soreness or no issues. So, maybe I'll get there. I don't, I don't know. It's kind of hard when, the second place guy in my age group passed me at 10 miles to go, and, I just had to let him go. And, but, yeah, because the whole idea is to be able to, pop out a 50 or 60 mile effort and then get some sleep and then go out and do that again. So it's not very good to feel real sore after that first run. So my big mistake was just going out too fast, and I should have just held back and just taken it easy like I should have. The second thing, which is kind of related, I had my poles with me the whole time, and there were good opportunities to use them. It's there's some steep uphills and technical steep downhills where the poles work very well, and I didn't take that opportunity to pull them out and just use the poles and get used to them. I don't use poles a lot, but I should be using them more because I plan to use them more during the Tahoe race. So that was another mistake. I just should have pulled those out and gone ahead and used them. So it was a little bit of a missed opportunity, but not a big deal. Then the third lesson was, unfortunately, the runner I was going to pace, Jose, he kind of tweaked his knee at like mile 67 or so, and I was waiting for him at mile 80 to pace him in, and he went ahead and kept pushing, thinking that maybe he'll go away and he could finish. So it was quite late by the time he got to me, and he decided to drop, which was the smart thing because it just wasn't getting any better, and he would have really hurt himself. Very disappointing for him because it was his first 100 mile. For me, I kind of lost my opportunity to run in that last 20 miles because it was late in the race cutoff times and stuff, and it just didn't make sense for me to take off and try and beat all those cutoff times to get the run in, and probably fortunate because I was a little sore, but would have been a good effort to run that last 20 miles on kind of sore legs. So it was a sort of thing where I was kind of told, well, you should just go ahead and take off earlier, but I just couldn't. I couldn't leave him if he did want to go ahead and press on. So I think I did the right thing. Missing that additional 20-mile run isn't that big a thing, but it it was a good effort on his part to push through that long, and I have to honor that. So anyway, yeah. So all in all, overall, I was pretty happy about the whole thing. I think the big thing that I learned is, you just got to go slower. It's just not that big of a deal. Just go a little slower. Makes a makes a big difference on how you feel by the end of the day, or however many miles you want to do that session. So I think that'll be important for the 200 coming up. So anyway, yeah, good training on the 50 miler. I've got, in 2 weeks, I'm going to do the Peterson Ridge 40 miler. Not too sure how I'm going to approach that yet, but I'll get some good quality running in between then, and next week I'll kind of report on how things are going and what my approach will be for my next race. So thanks for watching, and I'll see you then.